What's up everybody, Bandit here, back with the 2002 4Runner in my garage. So if you haven't seen our first video already, please do go ahead and check that out. It will make this video make a whole lot more sense, but what we're doing with this vehicle is we're installing the e-locker. Now all of the mechanic work was done in that first video that I've just been talking about, and we just want to cover a little bit more of the wiring, the overall cost, and everything like that you can expect if you want to do a similar project to your vehicle. So looking here under the hood, this is where we decided to run the fuse for the locker switch and everything like that. So it does just run off the battery here, runs along down the side and everything else, and it does go up into the cabin. Now the wiring from the locker side does come up through the floorboards, through the factory hole that is cut out in the floorboards to run that wiring through, and then they meet in the middle in the dash. So as far as pricing here on this project, it does vary a good bit depending on where you source all your products. So we decided to get the wiring and the switch and everything like that online. The wiring came from Amazon. It is just trailer wiring, that a 16 gauge that we made work in this vehicle, and then the switch came from Low Range Off-Road. Both of those together did end up costing around $35. The housing, the rear axle housing that the locker went into, was bought for around $40. The actual locker itself, the e-locking mechanism, did come up to about $450. The hardware and miscellaneous, nuts and bolts and that sort of thing, were about $15. The electronic connectors and things like that were about another $15. The fluid is another $30 to $40, and then we had the paint, the gasket maker, and that sort of thing coming in right around $25 or so. So if you're adding all that together, you should get just over $600 for the entire project. Now again, this does vary a good bit. We've seen lockers online on Craigslist upwards of $600 just for the locker. People know what they have. However, you could also go out to a junkyard and get the locker in the housing from a totaled 4Runner for around $200 for the entire project, and then just pop it in right quick. Now, like I said, it does vary a good bit depending on if people know what they have, also how close those items are to where you're doing the swap and everything like that. At the time of filming this was the best deal that we could come up with, and again, around $600 is what we ended up finding. Now, we were able to sell the stock rear axle out of this and that axle housing and everything with it, and we did get around $100. So overall, we're in it for around $500, and we do have what is basically a factory locking setup in this 4Runner. So looking here is the wire that goes to the switch, coming off the battery into an inline fuse and then in the switch. Now at the switch, it does meet the wires from the rear axle housing that go into that e-locker, and from there you can flip it on and off from the comfort of your driver's seat. So looking here to the left of the steering wheel is where we decided to mount the locker switch. Now it is a slightly complicated wiring process, and we got all of our information from the T4R forum. Now, if your 4Runner was equipped with an e-locker from the factory, and even the newer vehicles like my 2016 TRD Off-Road, the vehicle has to be running in 4 low and in neutral to engage the locker. However, since this locker is directly hardwired to the battery, even when the vehicle is off, if you would want to engage the locker, you just hit the top of this switch here for a few seconds. You can hear the locker motors engage and the light lights up. To undo the process, you just want to hit the bottom of the switch. Again, you'll hear those motors and the locker will be disengaged. Now, at certain points, you will have to roll forward or backwards to line up the cogs to make the locker fully engage, but when we're just sitting here on flat ground, it does do the process by itself. Now, the wiring for this particular project is a little bit tricky, and we did get most of our information from the T4R forums and from the Yodotech forums. Also, the Low Range Off-Road company that we did buy the switch from also has a comprehensive wire harness that you can buy for around $170, and that will take away pretty much everything. It comes with the wiring that runs from the locker to the switch all the way up to the battery. So it's basically a plug-and-play type system, and it would be really straightforward if you bought that, but you do save yourself quite a bit of money if you just do it the way we did. Again, you do want to go ahead and check out those forums, make sure you are doing everything right at the time being. We were on those forums a good bit, but everything ended up really nice. So if you have any questions, please leave all that in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching. Have a fantastic week, everybody. We'll catch you next time.